Hello and welcome to Xbox On. Now, one of the biggest games on our radar this year is Middle-earth: Shadow of War. Not only is it a follow-up to one of our favourite hack and slashers, the mighty Shadow of Mordor, but it's taking the formula in a really ambitious direction. And of course, it'll be doing it on both Xbox One and Project Scorpio. If you're looking to become an instant expert in all things Middle-earth, you're in the right place. Here's everything we know about the game. So let's start with the characters. The hero Talion is still fused with the spirit of the elf lord Celebrimbor. Great if you want to tap into his ghostly powers, not so hot when he wants some me time. But more important are the enemies you'll be facing. As in Shadow of Mordor, you'll be dominating trolls, orcs and beasts with a fiery passion, but you'll also have a new nemesis to take down. The Olog-hai promises to be a difficult foe indeed, as they're bigger than the orcs and Uruk-hai, but are smarter than your common trolls, meaning they know how to throw their weight around. So good luck with that. There's been a big graphical and artistic overhaul when it comes to the orcs, with hundreds of thousands of permutations as to what an orc can look like, from different personalities and strengths and weaknesses to different body animations that will be linked to those personalities. Considering that a great deal of the game's hook lies in you developing a feud with one of these characters, more on that in a second, it's great that the orcs have clearer personalities this time round. If I don't get a sassy orc that slays with a well-timed hair flick, then I'm going to be severely disappointed. In terms of those orcs' gorgeous faces, there's a huge amount of new facial animations, so you can really feel personally attached to each and every one before you chop said head off with a violent swish of your blade. Bad news for facial animators, great news for psychos like us. Hooray! What really jazzes things up though is the fact that the skills and abilities available have been expanded. Once you've purchased a skill, you can then modify it by unlocking further upgrades for it. The upgrade skills are varied and let you tailor Talion for your unique murderous means. For example, pick Elven Agility returning from the first game and you'll still find yourself with much needed speed boosts when leaping over objects, landing or climbing. But if you're all about swift and easy maneuvering, you can also add the special dash ability. It'll allow you to cover short distances quickly or to reach enemies instantly whilst in stealth mode. Or maybe you want to make more of an impact. Once again, you can trigger awesome stealth executions with your Brutalize skill. You can have it so the kill scares nearby troops, or you can modify it so that you get an instant boost to your hit streak, opening up more advanced moves should your action drop you in the middle of a fight. One that I particularly like the sound of is Poison Tendril, which allows you to poison barrels of grog from a safe distance. Kick this up a notch by getting the Contagion upgrade and those poisoned enemies will go berserk and spread the poison to their fellow comrades. Nice. A particularly cool upgrade that takes full opportunity of those Wraith powers is Wraith Chain. Whilst performing a stealth kill, you can target other enemies, allowing for your ghostly chum inside you to pop out and start a combo chain of attacks on nearby enemies. With the right active upgrade, the chain can be extended to even more enemies. You almost feel sorry for them. All these and plenty more will allow you to customize your character to buff his skills to your own playstyle, making you a formidable foe indeed. Speaking of customization and having your own say, the RPG system has been expanded immensely. Not only have the armor and weapons available been expanded, but there's a host of rare items with gem sockets on them, which makes it even further customization. There's a huge amount of interchangeable equipment you can wear in different slots: melee, stealth, ranged armor, cape, and gems for your ring of power. So in Shadow of War, you're going to have to earn your rare treats. War Chiefs are a good bet when it comes to getting epic equipment. Choose one who looks suitably big and brutish and take them down. Fingers crossed your looting brings good equipment to make all the slaughter and murder worthwhile. However, some of the best equipment has benefits that can only be unlocked by completing certain challenges. For example, you may have to take down an enemy in a certain way to unlock it. Once done, the upgrades will be available, so say hello to increased stealth or fire damage, for example. Also, the more powerful the creature, the more likely they'll drop gems to make even more powerful weapons. These offer stat boosts when plugged into epic equipment. You might become 10% better at chopping off heads, which makes me 100% happier. Use these boosted weapons to bring down the toughest foes in the game, and you can get your hands on legendary runes. These can be placed on Talion's Ring of Power, which gives him some of the most beneficial boosts in the game. By the end of the game, you'll be more upgraded than man, but that's fine by us. Now, when it comes to sequels, we always want that little extra something something. I mean, Lord of the Rings 2 gave us the Siege at Helm's Deep, so it's only natural we want more from Shadow of War. Well, in terms of scale, we've definitely been promised more. In fact, the word used was enormous, which is basically as big as it gets. Or would that be gigantic? Or humongous? Alright, adjective debate aside, we can agree it means the world is about to get a lot bigger. There's going to be a lot more regions, with every one of them being enormous and more detailed than the 2 available in Shadow of Mordor. There's going to be a lot of personality in each region too, with tribes determining the aesthetic. Different tribes in control will mean a change in atmosphere, missions, creatures, things you'll encounter, and what the forts themselves will look like. So basically the Orc Lord of that region is the decorator, and everyone must do as they say, good taste or not. There'll be snowy environments and an island type environment that is a lot more temperate. There'll also be a human city, Minas Ithil, which you'll start the game off in. It's a strong reminder of what you're fighting for, as the city is under siege from the Dark Lord's forces. There's also a bigger emphasis on doing what you want to do. Once through the Black Gates, you can tackle any region you want in any order you want. Or you can ignore that completely and just go do side quests and build up your army. It really is your decision. Shadow of War is aptly named, as it's not just about Mordor now. It's about so much more. More than Mordor. Wait, what? So if you're not familiar with Tolkien and all his many books, or haven't played Shadow of Mordor, will you be able to just jump straight into Shadow of War? Well, apparently yes, you can. Shadow of War is being built as a good point of entry. It's a bigger blockbuster version of Mordor, and so should be pretty easy to jump into. You apparently need no prior knowledge of the movies, but you should probably watch them anyway because they're amazing. Of course, if you play Shadow of War on Project Scorpio, you'll be getting to see these worlds in glorious 4K. You can currently get any of the films in Ultra HD format, so this is your first chance to see these classic worlds brought to life on your glorious 4K telly. And hey, it'll still look amazing on your Xbox One too. So speaking of those amazing movies, how does Shadow of War link to it? So it's set in between The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The creators wanted to make an authentic and seamless experience, so they're saying once you get to the end of the game, you can fire up the movies or read the books and they'll seamlessly continue the story. You'll get plenty of screen time on the Nazgul and the Flaming Eye of Sauron, so Lord of the Rings fans will have plenty to get their teeth stuck into. Okay, so let's face it, when we first got some insight into Shadow of War, there was one particular thing we were ridiculously excited to see. Dragons you can ride and spew fire with. I mean, come on, nothing is cooler than dragons. So the Drake dragons will appear in scripted events, but also appear randomly, much like Skyrim dragons. The Drakes don't take sides, so it's all about subduing them, mounting them, and then forcing them to take your side. You'll have to be skilled with your use of ranged combat to bring them down, but once you've made them yours, they'll stay yours even if you dismount. As the game progresses, you'll be able to teleport to them, and eventually your summoning ability will allow you to summon one right to you, which is handy when you're in a particularly tricky battle and can use your winged friend for backup. A Drake's main means of attack is fire, but even better, you can charge up their might to release a super powerful fireball. Move over, Ryu, a new champion is here. The Nemesis system was one of the best things about Shadow of Mordor, and thankfully it's only getting better in Shadow of War. So rather than having waves of nameless orcs you slay and forget, the Nemesis system procedurally generates the war chiefs as you play. If you are cut down in a fight, the orc who killed you is promoted, given a unique name and title, and set up to fight you again in the future. So yeah, revenge killing is a big part of the appeal. There's nothing better than wiping that smile off a smug orc's face that bested you earlier in the game. Shadow of War takes the whole system up a notch. There's going to be a Nemesis forts, which are strongholds inhabited by plenty of enemies and ruled by an overlord. You can go in guns blazing and try and siege the fortress straight away, or take down the war chiefs one by one to weaken the fort's support network before assaulting it with an army you've amassed while playing. Once you've conquered the fort, you can install your very own overlord and gain influence over that region. From then on, the region's looks will reflect whoever you put in charge, from different creatures roaming through to a change in wilderness and the fortress itself. Put a necromancer in charge, for example, and the undead will begin to roam the region, and all the grim banners will make outposts look like a goth's bedroom. Stick in a member from the machine tribe and they'll industrialize the wilderness, while a feral overlord will bring things back to nature. The way the world can adapt to fit your version of the story is incredibly impressive. So you know the plan, go out, conquer all, and rule over every region with your fiery dragon. You know it makes sense. So that's it for our look at Shadow of War. Let us know in the comments what you're most excited to see in the latest installment, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already for plenty more Xbox info. We'll see you next time. Bye!